Right. So I'm 6 years old. My mum and my brothers are going away for the weekend. My dad's supposed to stay home and look after me. It's supposed to be a chance for us to bond. So we're sitting there at the kitchen table, just sort of looking at each other. Like we're looking at each other for the first time, you know? My dad says, "So, what you want to do?" And I say, "I want to go see the penguins at the zoo." When I was 6, I was going through this mad penguin obsession. I used to dress up as a penguin at dinner times and ask for fish fingers, give me fish fingers. If it wasn't penguins, it was cowboys. Oh, cowboys were cool. So we go to the zoo. I get on my cowboy gear. We get the bus. And it's sort of weird to see my dad on a bus and away from the house. We start to have this chat about when I was born and what a really fat baby I was. Who's a little chubby chubster? Who's a little chubby chubster? So the bus stops, and I drag him straight to the penguins. Standing there in my cowboy gear, looking at the penguins, having such a great chat to my dad on the bus. That was a perfect childhood day. He lets go of my hand, and he says he'll be back with my chalk ice. And he goes. He's gone. I'm happy looking at the penguins. But it's been an hour since he left. And so I go to look for him. And I'm walking around. I'm not worried yet. I don't talk to anyone. I decide to get the bus home. The bus gets to my house. I get the key from under the mat. I open the door. And I'm alone in there. It being a Saturday night, I take off my cowboy gear, have a bath, and put on my pajamas. Because my dad would have liked that. It's getting dark now, and I start to get worried. The house is feeling too big. So I grab my blanket and I run into the bathroom, and it feels safer in there. So I lock the door and I stay in there. I stay in there for 2 days. Thou, nature, art my goddess. To thy law my services are bound. Wherefore should I stand in the plague of custom and permit the curiosity of nations to deprive me, for that I am some 12 or 14 moonshines lag of a brother? Why bastard? Wherefore base? When my dimensions are as well compact, my mind as generous, and my shape as true as honest madam's issue. Why brand they us with base? with baseness, bastardy, base, who in the lusty stealth of nature take more composition and fierce quality than doth within a dull, stale, tired bed go to the creating of a whole tribe of fops got tween sleep and wake. Well then, legitimate Edgar, I must have your land. Our father's love is to the bastard Edmund as to the legitimate. Fine word, that. Legitimate. Well then, my legitimate, if this letter speed and my invention thrive, Edmund the base shall top the legitimate. I grow. I prosper. Now, gods, stand up for bastards. Four or 5 days after she died, I sat in the living room, wondering what to do, shuffling around, waiting for any kind of structured feeling to emerge from the organizational fakery of my days. I drank. I smoked roll-ups out the window. I felt that perhaps the main result of her being gone would be I would permanently become this machine-like architect of routines for small children with no mum. Grief felt fourth dimensional. I was cold. The doorbell rang. And I braced myself for more kindness. Another lasagna, some books, a cuddle, some little potted ready meals for the boys. Of course, I was becoming expert in the behavior of orbiting grievers. The overwhelmed, the affectedly lackadaisicals, the people I still had no fucking idea who they were. The doorbell rang again. I climbed down the carpeted stairs into the chilly hallway and opened the door. There was a crack and a whoosh, and I was knocked back onto the doorstep. And all I could think was, please don't wake the boys. They need their sleep. You can have everything. Just don't wake them. Oh. There was this rich, furry stink of decay and unedible food and leather and moss and yeast. I opened my eyes. Feathers. Feathers beneath my fingertips, in my mouth, In my eyes, beneath me a feathery hammock lifting me a foot above the tiled floor. One shiny jet black eye as big as my face, blinking slowly out of a football-sized testicle. Shh. And this is what he said. I won't leave until you don't need me anymore. Put me down, I said. Not until you said hello. Put me down, I cried, and my piss warmed the cradle of his wing. You're frightened. Just say hello. Hello? Say it properly! I lay back resigned. And I wished my wife wasn't dead. I wish I wasn't standing terrified in a giant bird embrace in my hallway. I wish I hadn't been obsessing about this thing when the greatest tragedy of my life happened. But these were factual yearnings. Finally, I had some clarity. Oh. It was bitterly wonderful. Hello, Crow, I said. So good to finally meet you.